Break it loose. That was weird. Hello, you beautiful people! David here, or Sin City Yeti, or just Yeti, whichever you prefer. And I got a painting for you today. Now, I haven't done a video with this style of painting. Actually, I think I've done it on a rock. I don't remember. Anyways, I've done this style of painting plenty of times before. I just haven't done a video with it yet on YouTube. If you've seen my shorts, you've probably seen some of the paintings. But I'm getting that itch. I want to do it again. So I need to do it again. Plus, this wasn't the painting that was supposed to be for today's video, but I'm a little tired because I had to work super hard to get today's artwork ready in time for this video because it technically wasn't supposed to be for this video. It was for a future video. But the painting I'm currently working on, I knew I still had more hours to put in, more hours than I had available to be able to get ready for this painting, for this video. I have more hours. I did not have enough hours available for this video for the painting I'm currently working on, but enough hours to work on a different painting. So I had to make an executive decision and get a painting done that wasn't going to take me 30 more hours. Yeah, it's a big one, but I think you're going to like it. But I hope today's painting is worth it because it's an idea I've had for a little while. Just haven't done it yet. Based off of paintings I've done before, I should be able to get it done in time. But I'm still a little worried about it. Yeah. I should have enough hours available, but we'll see. Anyways, enough of my face. Let's go see what I can create. We gotta go get a canvas first, though. Y'all wanna know a secret?
Did you want to know a secret? 'Cause I know one and it is so good to hear it.
There were some clues there for some upcoming videos, but this is the clue for today's video. But we need to get that canvas first, so let's go under my bed to get my canvas. Ooh, ignore me just falling right there. Got the canvas. Now we go to the living room. All right, so I gotta open it up so that I can paint on it. Got my little setup, and yeah, that painting made an appearance because it is the inspiration for today's video. All right, so we're cutting open the canvas, getting all this excess plastic off. I wish there was a way to ship canvases where they could be protected without all this plastic, but I digress. I will do my best to recycle it. Those silicone chips, I've heard you can do stuff with. I haven't done anything with them, but we're just gonna clear them away. So yes, so this is my idea. This is Espathra. I freaking love Espathra, and this card is beautiful, and I want to do this. So let's go see some reasons why. Hi, this is my game character in Pokemon Violet, and this is Espathra. Espathra is such a fun Pokemon. Like, look at this. It just jumps out of nowhere when it attacks you. It's so much fun. It's so pretty and elegant when it does its attacks. And you'll be sending out attacks and then, oh, look. There goes another freaking Espathra. These things just jumping out of nowhere. And of course, you know, in order to show off Espathra, I had to do a little terrestrialization. For those who know, you know. Oh, she's so pretty. And if you're wondering why my Espathra's brown and the others are yellow, I have a shiny Espathra, which is just an alternate color, and I love to take my Espathra shiny hunting with me. They give off little sparkles when you send them out. My favorite evolution. And it's just so much fun. I love using Espathra. She's fast. She can take care of them. And oof, if you know the game, you know the game. I almost failed a shiny here. Caught it at the last second before it despawned. That was Fido. So yeah, I love Espathra. Now, this Gyarados over here, you might be wondering like why I keep pointing over to it. Well, if you know the card game, this is actually the art for the base set Gyarados, just done in impressionist style. This is the original card. I have the original card, but I just want to show it on my phone. I want to do the same thing with the Espathra's card right here on the canvas. I have a whole little series of them. I haven't done one in over a year. I've been wanting to do it, so we're gonna go ahead and do it. Now, I don't know why I decided to soak this canvas. I wish I could go back and tell myself to stop. I forgot to do something very important.
Hey buddy, you need a ride? I was just on my way to the big doofus convention.
Nope. This is where I realized, oh, wait a minute. Oh my gosh. There we go. Dried it off. Look at that. Good as new. Now I can actually draw on this because I needed to draw out the Pokemon first and the artwork for what I'm doing. So we're going to go ahead and sketch it all out. I'm just going to kind of like freehand it based off of what I'm seeing in the card and just placing all of the little clouds, all of the hills and everything, and then Espathra in here, just kind of like more my style, but very inspired by the artwork. So Espathra being one of my favorite Pokemon from the current generation, I wanted to do some artwork of it. I did some artwork of my other favorite Gen 9 Pokemon, Chein-Pao. I love Chein-Pao. So I wanted to do this with Espathra. Now, I don't have the actual physical card to show you guys. I wish I did, but unfortunately, scalpers have made collecting the cards a little less fun, so I don't get involved anymore. I don't need to be that adult that's pushing over kids just to get some pieces of cardboard. I'm gonna make artwork of it and still enjoy it. So we're laying down my base coat. I'm trying something new. I went ahead and laid down a base coat of gold.
I love gold.
Just because there's so much sand in the desert, I thought it would be a fun undercoat. Now we're getting started with the impressionism. The way that I go about it is I try to go from darkest to lightest. It's not like a set rule law that it has to be done. It's just something I do try to stick to. And I try to start with the furthest away and come to the closest. So the sky is the furthest thing away, and I'm starting with the sky. Laid down the darkest color first, which was black, moved on to Prussian blue, then a mix with some cerulean, and then another mix with phthalo blue. And I'm just kind of like building up these blues. I find this is what really adds dimension to impressionism, impressionistic paintings and things like that. It's just, I find something that works really well for me, and you're just kind of going with broad brushstrokes. And the way that I do it is I do a lot more brushstrokes like in the background, and I kind of like give feelings for what I'm painting. So with the sky in the actual card artwork, it almost looked like the sky was swirling and spherical in shape. So I kind of did this like flowing of just the base layer background sky, adding in all these blues and kind of pushing it into a single direction. It's all going towards the horizon. And it's gonna help with your viewers' eyes, like following your artwork. So it's just all going with that flow. Next, I'm going in with the layer that's going to be in front of the sky. There was like a sunburst during sunset. So I'm laying down those colors, getting all these yellows, golds, and whites just to kind of like really punch up this line between the sky and the desert. In the card art itself, it's a little hard to see. And because I'm doing it in my style, I figure why not? I'm gonna like add distinction in this. And plus I'm doing it in a different style anyway, so I can do what I want. And then I'm kind of going in with like some highlights. So this is one of those spots where I don't go with the darkest first, but I wanted some like highlights underneath everything just in case I kind of forget to add something in. It's still gonna like peek through. And the way that the sun is sitting in the sky, it's almost like the sun setting in the ocean, only this is like sand and dunes. So I really want to add that reflectiveness about the sun, really add some distinction between it and everything else. Just like it's a starburst in the horizon. I really like that. And now I'm going to be going in with the clouds. So clouds are kind of fun in a way, like the way that they flow, they're just their own thing.
Stop that! Stop that! Stop that!
And that's kind of like with the brush strokes, I'm pushing them all into a sync, like going into a direction, cause the viewer's eyes to go with the flow. And clouds are abstract. They change shape and they kind of go in all directions when they're like being blown through the sky. So I'm just doing like swirls of these colors and I'm building it up, going from like different values, darker values to lighter values, hues. I'm changing them up minutely, but enough that they're all going to complement each other. And it's going to kind of like create this really cool feeling in the sky. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just like using all sorts of different shades of orange and pinks and adding some yellows to lighten it up, adding a little bit of blue to kind of like desaturate it a bit. And I'm adding in some purples because I find purple to be a really nice shadow color for orange. And it's just adding this dimension. So it's like pushing things further away, bringing things forward. And even with it being an impressionistic style, it's still like giving it great dimension. That's one of the reasons why I love doing this. It's just kind of like fun to experiment and explore to see which colors are going to play nicely with each other. At least better than Onyx and Baxter playing.
Why are you hitting Baxter?
And it's kind of easy to like force the viewer's eye through your artwork because of the brush strokes. You're like causing their eyes to flow through it. Yeah, it's just, I don't really know how else to explain it. But anyways, we're getting this clouds added into the sky, all sorts of different colors, bringing the darker ones forward, pushing the lighter ones to the back, and adding in all of the contrast. So as you can see, like the brush strokes aren't going in a certain direction, but they're still kind of going with the flow. And I'm adding in highlights to the brush strokes, just kind of building up on each other. I don't want them being like super opaque. I want a little bit of the background seeping through in the card where you can still kind of see some of the blue of the sky behind the orange of the clouds. I wanted to try to mimic that in an impressionistic style. So I was experimenting here and I think I did a pretty good job of doing that. So like I didn't go over with multiple coats of the orange, so it's not super saturated. Next, to try to go along with the card as best that I can, I want to tie in some of these sky colors in with the ground colors. So I'm going over some of the spots in the sky with a lighter orange mixed with some lemon yellow, and I'm bringing that yellow down into the desert itself. I'm going to start building up those highlights and reflective properties of the sand and the dunes in this desert. This is what's kind of giving it more of that like water ocean wave in the sunset, and I really want to try to incorporate the sky down into the sand so they kind of blend together a little bit better. And now I'm kind of adding in some more blues to kind of like break it up. I felt like it was just, there were parts of it that were too opaque. I needed to kind of break up the colors. So now I'm just adding in like these little jelly beans or sprinkles or these brush strokes of blue and breaking up that orange. And I do like the way it's looking. It's kind of bringing the sky back into the painting itself. I really like the way that it's coming along at this point. I'm starting to feel like, okay, the colors are working with each other. They're acting like team players. Let's just keep going with this. And adding in just so many juicy highlights.
Oh God, it's so good. So good.
All the little jelly beans in the sky. Yep, it's so pretty. This part did take me a long time. Like I felt like I got a little too lost in the sauce here. Just in my own little zone, and I was trying to make this a quick painting and it didn't end up being a super quick painting, but I still got it done on time. That's really the only thing that matters. But this part on the sky, like, did I need to go super crazy with all the little details of the jelly beans? Absolutely not. Am I regretting going super hyper focus mode on every single little jelly bean in the sky? Nope, not at all.
That's my credo. No regrets.
I love it. Like the sky just looks so, I don't know, delicious. If that's the right way to say it. I mean, I do think artwork looks delicious sometimes, but this is looking like candy almost. I would expect it to have like that sweet and sour, like sour ropes. Ugh, yes. Anyways, going back to the painting. So the desert, like now I'm adding in the dimension for the sand dunes. It's really hard to see in the artwork of the card itself. Like when you're looking at the card, you're just kind of like, is this all in the sky? Is this over ocean? What's going on here? Like really looking at it, you can kind of see like, okay, it's a desert. Those are sand dunes. Now I'm kind of understanding what's going on here. So now that like I have the highlights in and I know what I'm working with, I'm going in with like lots of golds and yellows and oranges for just different sand dunes and the shadows, the highlights and everything. I actually mix everything with gold just to try to like punch up each color. And I love the look of it. It's not overtly shiny, like glittery, but it has a sheen and a shine to it. I'm very happy with it. That's kind of what I was going for. But I have to like really work at this because as you can see, there's spots of the sand dunes where they don't really look like sand dunes and the dimension of each sand dune is a little bit off. So I was just kind of like reworking them while trying to stay true to the card itself, give off that same kind of feeling. So like these sand dunes in the very front, the shadows I felt were a little too harsh. I will lighten them up, but I'm kind of like adding more almost like a base coat where the shadows are going to be, because I'm going to re-go over everything again with more additional brush strokes just to kind of like change the flow and create optical illusions between the colors with different brush strokes of each color. So as you can see, like I'm just going through and I'm just adding single brush strokes randomly throughout it and tying the shadows together with the highlights by using like similar midtones in both of them. It brings down the brightness of the highlights and kind of like increases the brightness of the shadows and ties them in together a lot better. And as you can see, like I'm fixing the sand dunes in the background. They're coming together a lot better now. Like I noticed the problem. It looks like the sunlight is hitting them, creating these shadows and these fun rolling hills made of sand, and Espathra is just there standing in the middle of the desert, looking absolutely stunning.
Who's that wonderful girl? Could she be any cuter?
I want to get started on painting on her, but I want to finish everything else first because I really want her to stand out in front of everything. Even the stuff that's in the front, I want her to be like the main focus. Yeah, so we're getting started on her now. Going in with her wings, and I'm doing the same kind of impressionism with it, but I'm doing like not as harsh of brush strokes. I'm also not changing the colors as drastically. So like with orange, I went down with the most vivid orange first, and then I'm lightening it up with yellow, and I'm adding in a little bit of yellow at a time and then adding some brush strokes. A little bit more yellow, a little bit more brush strokes, a little bit more yellow, a little bit more brush strokes. This is keeping it all tied together really well. And it's still the impressionism style, but there's not as much variation in the brush strokes, so it's going to cause Espathra to stand out just a little bit more from the background, where you can see like in the background there's different brush strokes that are different colors right next to each other, and like when you actually focus on it you could see individual brush strokes. Whereas with Espathra, because the colors are so closely together, the brushstrokes are going to almost disappear. While still being in the same style, it's going to make her stand out a little bit more because she is the focal point of the painting. She's what I want the viewer to focus on in this. So if you're doing an impressionism painting, if you're doing the impressionistic style, if you're doing that, like this is a great way to kind of like make your subject stand out from the background while staying true to the style of the artwork. And I do highly suggest experimenting with Impressionism. It is a lot of fun. I feel like you can explore with colors a lot more with Impressionism, and it's easier to kind of like hide mistakes because the brush strokes they're not as small, they're not as detailed. You could be looser with the work, and that's why I love doing this. And as you can see, like Espathra, even though she is so much of the same color of the sand, of the sun, of the sky, she is standing out a lot. Oh, she's so pretty. It's creating this presence around her because she's a little bit more tight knit with the brushstrokes than everything else in the painting. So yeah, it's almost like you're putting a spotlight on it. It's a great way to do it. I highly suggest it. Go ahead, like experiment. Do your best to create impressionistic works of art. It's such a fun style to explore. I highly encourage it. So now I'm going in with a little bit of smaller brushstrokes in some areas just to kind of add further difference between layers that are the same color. So like adding in a little bit of purple to some of the yellows to kind of create shadows, going more whites to increase the brightness, while still making sure the parts of her that are white still look white. And this is when I'm starting to realize like she looks fantastic, but it looks a little empty. So if this was the artwork for the card, text is going to be right below her and it's going to fill in that empty space right there. So like just looking at it, there's some empty space and I'm kind of trying to figure out like what could I do there? I don't want to turn this into the card and have to try to create text with paint. That takes too long. I'm not a calligrapher. That's not my thing. I'm not good at writing. I have chicken scratch.
Wow, you have really bad handwriting.
So that wasn't going to fly. And then it kind of dawned on me. In the game, you can find Espathra in the desert, and it's a sandy desert, like full of sand everywhere. You get sandstorms every once in a while, and you can find Espathra in the desert, as well as her pre-evolution Flittle. So I'm trying to like debate in my head, like, do I want to add it, change the artwork that much? So I add in some more highlights, and that's when I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, go for it. I think it needs it. I'm the artist. I get to make these decisions. And so I'm gonna put it right here in the very front. Just gonna kind of like start out with this little circle. So you are gonna get to discover Flittle, Espathra's pre-evolution. Even though it's not part of the original card, I don't really care. I'm still putting it in there. And a fun little story about Flittle here. When the game first came out, before I learned all of the Pokemon's names, I was catching a whole bunch of different ones, putting them on my team, and I was nicknaming them just to try to create this bond with them because I thought they were kind of cool. Flittle here was one of those I caught. I had no idea what Flittle was going to turn into. I avoided all of the spoilers and I put it on my team, and I ended up naming it Jackie. For some reason, it just reminded me of this little like chocolate bonbon wearing a tutu and pigtails, and I was like, that looks like a Jackie. So I named it Jackie.
Hello, Jackie.
If I call Flittle Jackie by mistake, that is why my brain has now associated Flittle with Jackie so much that I want to say Jackie first before I say Flittle. Pokemon names are so much fun. But here you can see, like, it really looks like a little piece of candy wearing a tutu with pigtails. And this is a thing that evolves into this crazy psychic ostrich. And I love it. It's just so random. Flittle reminds me of a UFO. Its little cry even reminds me of like bubble, like the bubble noises UFOs make in old timey cartoons. Like, it just reminds me of that so much. I was like, yeah, this is it. And I'm so happy I went with it. I think it ties in perfectly. They're just there together in the desert. I love this. I'm way beyond happy with how this came out. So yeah, I guess now that we have watched the painting come together, it's time for the final review.
I freaking love it. Espathra. And I added in a little Flittle. I know it wasn't originally my plan to add a Flittle to it because I was just doing the TCG artwork, but because the writing wasn't there, it felt like it was missing something, and I had to add in its little Prevost. It's so cute. I love Espathra so much. I'm really happy with how this came out. This is like so much better than I was envisioning. I'm just, wow. And I got it done in time. You have no idea how stressed out I've been, wondering if I was going to get this painting done on time, because the other painting I'm working on is taking a lot longer to finish, and that's also slowing me down on another painting that I want to get finished. And then there's another painting behind that one that I want to get finished. I have so many paintings. You have no idea how many paintings I have. I think I have 41? 41. I don't even know how many paintings that I have started that they're just sitting here unfinished. I had big plans for this one. Still do. Might get it done. I had even bigger plans for this one. This one I am still gonna do though. I haven't given up on it. Now I know it's just kind of like my interpretation of already created art, but it's done in a whole new style, and the inspiration's there. I freaking love it. And I did change some stuff. So like, it's not just Espathra, and because this isn't a card, it's missing text that should have gone right here, making this spot feel a little empty. I had to add in this little Prevost. Look at that little Flittle. I'm glad I got this one done. Still took me some time. I mean, the video is only a little bit shorter than normal. So yeah, it still took me some time, but not 30 hours. I'm happy about that. I love the colors. I can't wait to hang this one up. So what do you think? Should I do some more of these? I have so many Pokemon that I love, so I feel like it would be pretty easy for me to find cards that I just want to turn into fun little art projects, kind of maybe show some people along the way how to do impressionism, at least like a form of impressionism that I use. It is definitely inspired from Van Gogh, but Van Gogh, is that how you say it? Van Gogh? But it has my own style on it. Like, it has a twist. Like, I've definitely made it my own. And I kind of would, you know, if I could share that with you all, help you in some way, I'm all for it. I'm all for sharing whatever I do with art that might help you guys. Or maybe it puts you on a path to find your own style. That would be even better. So yeah, you're gonna have to let me know in the bottom what you think. Are there any cards? If you are a Pokemon fan, are there any cards that you think I should do? Let me know. I'm totally open for it. I love them all. Anyways, be safe out there. Don't get lost. Don't get stolen. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye, you beautiful people.